You've just started RuneScape in free-to-play and are overwhelmed with all the directions you can go, and that's okay. Here's how I would start RuneScape in free-to-play. Please don't take it as a guide, it's more so how I would start if I made a new account. Yes, you can watch the many Snowflake or Ironman accounts start up their series and follow in their footsteps, but I'm keeping this free-to-play and this is what I would do with my new accounts. I do things at a very low level with low hit points, so keep in mind while I attempt certain quests at a low hit points level, it doesn't mean you should. I'm ultimately showing you how easily things can be done. You may overthink your own ability even though you're more than qualified to get it done. Please, please, please download the RuneLite client. It will be extremely helpful with the plugins you can install. The plugins I will be using most are Quest Helper, Key Remapping, and Menu Entry Swapper. First off, jump into World 301 and head to the Grand Exchange. The next city north of Lumbridge is Varrock. Head along the east side of the city walls and get to the Grand Exchange. Here you're going to turn on your run energy and patiently wait for higher level players to randomly drop rune items. In RuneLite, I turn on Entity Hider so it's easier to see the drops on the ground. As you can see, I've collected 3 rune plate legs in my first 7 minutes on Gielinor. After selling the rune plate legs, I picked up some soft clay to start crafting, as there is a decent money maker I always do when starting a new account. However, with the new 2% tax on the Grand Exchange, it might not be as lucrative, but we'll see. After grabbing the soft clay, we head to Barbarian Village and use the potter's wheel in the southeastern hut to make pots. After making pots, we use the pottery oven in the same hut to fire the unfired pots into regular pots. Our goal is to get level 20 crafting to make sapphire rings. It took us 200 soft clay from level 1 to get to level 20 crafting. We found someone dropping rune scimitars, so with clicks on point, we nailed 11 rune sims that we can sell. I picked up 100 gold bars and 100 sapphires in a ring mold to start our small money maker. The reason I only did 100 is because I don't quite know if the Grand Exchange 2% tax will kill this money maker or not. Let's go to Edgeville and use the furnace to make these rings. The rings give 40 crafting XP per ring, so this is also a great way to level crafting. We made 12k profit. Now, doing this over and over with a larger quantity will yield more money. After getting our crafting levels, making money from more drops, we move on. There was a huge drop party happening in the north of the West Varrock Bank, so I decided to sit here for a bit. Even ham joints were being dropped, but I was just too slow. I decided that newer players might look into questing, so I went about questing. Questing gives great free XP, so using the RuneLite plugin Quest Helper, I was on my merry way. I spent time at the Grand Exchange to buy the majority of the items I would need for all the free-to-play quests. Let's start with the basics. Cook's Assistant. I teleported to Lumbridge and quickly completed Cook's Assistant to get to level 4 cooking. Next, I ran over to Port Sarim to complete Pirate's Treasure, but remembered I needed inventory space for the banana nanas, so I went to complete Dork's Quest really quickly to offload these ores. I completed Dork's Quest for level 10 mining and headed back to Draenor to grab a Chronicle for easier teleporting to Varrock and a Cabbage Cape because Fashionscape. Then ran to Port Sarim for Pirate's Treasure Quest. I got the treasure chest and went northwest of Falador to help some goblins decide a chainmail color in Goblin Diplomacy. The crafting XP is nice, but we hear a call to the southeast at the Draenor Manor. So we check it out to help out a fellow who's been turned into a chicken. Ernest the chicken is out of the way and I teleport to Lumbridge to get rune mysteries done. I forgot to grab my beads, but grab your beads and let's go all the way upstairs to Wizard Tower to complete Imp Catcher. I then grabbed the items needed for Witch's Potion and met Hetty and Remington to complete the quest. We've hit level 7 combat and level 10 magic just from questing, which is a nice little head start. I decided to stop by Falador and complete the Knight's Sword as it was right there. I just had to get the items from my bank. We got 29 smithing from the Knight's Sword. Although the questing was flying by, I decided I wanted to focus on a little bit of skilling as I wanted to take a quick break. I AFK'd woodcutting and brought along a tinderbox to use for fire making. But instead of making fires in a line, I used the Forester's Campfire. Admittedly, this took a bit of time, but I was able to zone out on another game while I did regular trees from 1 to 15 and then oaks the rest of the way. I went back to the Grand Exchange and picked up some Kadava berries to do Romeo and Juliet, a free and easy 5 quest points. I looked at the quest book and it was coming along nicely. We're still very low on combat levels, but this is because when I purchased membership, combat levels can be granted so quickly by a few quests alone that a level 3 can do. So with that being said, I'm still holding off on combat levels. Plus, it's a nice challenge. The Black Knight's Fortress quest is now looking me in the eye, so I decided we're going for it. I stopped by the Edgeville Monastery to collect cabbage as I can't use one from the Draenor Manor. This quest is good to do in a more populated world due to other players doing the quest and possibly taking the aggro of the knights, so you don't get whooped up on too much. With 10 HP, I head into the fortress. I get smacked a few times, but I pull through. I sit at this ladder to recover 1 hit point before proceeding, as I don't want to waste half of an apple pie. Right click and use the cabbage. damage on the hull and our cutscene plays. Just like that, we've beaten the Black Knight's fortress with just 10 HP. I had forgotten Sheep Shearer was another autocomplete quest. It's been so long since I've done it, so I bought 20 balls of wool, home teleported to Lumbridge, and handed them to Fred. Quest completed. I also quickly did X marks the spot to get an XP lamp for runecrafting. Although runecrafting is pretty okay at a low level, I'd rather drop free XP into that skill than any other. I've dwindled down the quests even more, and although I've been avoiding combat experience, decided it was time to finally get free combat experience through quest rewards. First off, Vampire Slayer. With the changes to magic, magic is going to be our best friend for a ton of these quests that requires killing something. I picked up 500 mind runes. They'll be used for other quests, so I got a lot. It was recommended I was level 15 for this quest, but I'm level 7, which is close enough. After a good fight, I was trying to use the stake, not realizing Jagex has it to where it auto stakes the count. So just fight it till it dies. Look at all the time we saved. Level 20 attack without even raising a sword. With Vampire Slayer being a breeze, I teleported over to Varrock to talk to Reldo to start the Shield of Arav. I became a Phoenix member because all you need to do is defeat a level 2. The quest is very easy, and if you go into the OSRS SOA clan chat, you can request someone from the other gang to quickly find a partner. The recommended combat level of Demon Slayer is 15, but I don't care about that. I get the first 2 keys easily, then home teleport and grab my 25 bones from the bank for Wizard Triborn. I returned to Varrock Castle and obtained Silverlight. I couldn't remember if Delrith could be fought with magic, so I took it anyways as I wanted to whittle him down with magic then finish him off with Silverlight. But I died to a wizard, as I didn't know that they hit 6s, so I make a desperate attempt to get back to my gravestone, just to see it's not there. Make sure to stay above 6 HP, these wizards ain't no joke. Weirdly enough, I can't find my grave anywhere. I couldn't even retrieve Silverlight, so I waited the gravestone out and picked up more runes to make another attempt. I swear I will do this at 10 HP. I waited out the gravestone and was able to retrieve my items including Silverlight, so take 2. I jumped in and decided to lose the wizards and just face Delrith. Turns out you need to use Silverlight, so here we go, a mighty 20 attack. I 3-shot the demon and completed the quest. Seriously, just do Demon Slayer at like level 3, it's no big deal. I then wanted to get a bit more magic levels to be ready for Dragon Slayer. I enchanted some amulets of magic but realized, although the XP was great, it could be a little costly, so I hopped to something else. I'm a full bronze kind of guy, so I picked up a set, 1k casts of Weaken, and headed to Draenor for a Goblin Staff. I don't know why, but I'm compelled to keep my HP to 10. That will change here in a little bit, but only to 11 as Elvarg's max hit is a 10. For leveling magic, we want negative 65 magic attack bonus so we don't actually hit. This is called splashing, as the animation of the spell hitting the opponent looks like a splash. Unfortunately, we can't auto-cast Weaken, so we're going to be doing a bit of clicking. We head back over to Varrock Castle to attack the Monk of Zamorak underneath the stairs. He can't attack back, so it's pretty chill magic XP. You can swap to using Curse at level 19 magic, which I ended up doing, for 8 more XP a cast. My goal is level 23 magic for Water Bolt, as Elvarg is 30% weaker to water spells. At 13 combat and 23 magic, we can move on. We need another HP level. Although we can survive on 11 HP, it's going to be hard. It will not be easy at all, but it's not impossible. We won't get combat levels by leveling range, so I'm going to pick up some tiered short bows, arrows, and ranged armor. I will pick up 1k arrows as I'm hoping this will be enough for 11 HP. And spoiler, it was way more than enough. The next day rolled around and I picked up my Chronicle again after losing it in Demon Slayer. I head to Lumbridge Chickens to train a bit of range to, in turn, get that 11 HP. I also picked up the raw chicken so I can train a bit of cooking as well. I move over to the cows once I've cooked up a bit of chicken. The cows have more HP, so I can attack them just a little bit longer. We got 11 HP and our combat leveled up to 14. Now, let's get started on Dragon Slayer. Following the quest guide via Runelight, we get the first map piece, pay Wormbrain for his map piece because I personally wanted to save some combat levels, and beat Melzar's maze to get the last map piece. I also obtained 12 HP and 24 magic while doing so. I had also forgotten to switch to Water Bolt, so I stopped by the Grand Exchange for some Chaos Rooms before I took on Elvarg. So round 1, it didn't quite work. Dragons naturally resist magic fairly easily, even with the 30% weakness to water spells. However, if I'm doing this on 12 HP and 14 combat, I'm going hard mode, in keeping with magic. This time, however, I will pick up Swordfish. Please remember, I'm purposely inhibiting myself from doing this in an easier way, like leveling attack, strength, and defense, so I can prove that even the most daunting challenges can actually be done fairly easily. I brought some apple pies and some Swordfish this time. I'm going to try to walk under Elvarg when I need to heal, and if I'm caught slipping, I'll use the Swordfish to heal up. I want to stay within melee range as she seemingly attacks slower with melee and not as often. The next attempt, I died. Then running back, I got whacked with an 8 from a lesser demon and died. I couldn't believe it. I was too busy looting my grave and ended up dying. I came back, looted my grave, and jumped the wall. Elvarg still had low HP from my last attempt, which was confusing because I thought Elvarg always regained her HP after every attempt. Well, regardless, at level 15 combat, 12 HP and 26 magic, I completed Dragon Slayer 1. With a ton of time saved, I got 18.6k strength and defense XP, rocketing my strength and defense to 33 and obtaining a combat level of 28. This will now make it easier to level combat skills as I can now hit harder, wear adamant, and a bonus of wearing rune plate bodies whenever I hit 40 defense, as well as wearing green d'hide bodies. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and go for 40 defense. I feel like every free-to-play player wants that coveted rune plate body. I sat at Barbarians for a little bit since there is free food on the table, but I found it rather slow, so I went into the Stronghold of Security to kill flesh crawlers. Usually at this time, membership would be a great idea as you can skip this entirely and do a series of quests up to and including Monkey Madness 1 to get much higher stats in a fraction of the time. Even with my hit points being at level 14, I could do Witch's House quest and get a massive amount of hit points XP and not have to worry about it being so low. But this is free to play, so we're sticking to it. At 33 combat, we hit 40 defense and also obtained 25 HP in the process. I suppose the next thing to do is 40 range for green d'hide, and that's usually a goal as well. I like to take the time to say that we are now nearing the point where quests in membership will start to lose their value from rewards as the time to complete them is significantly quicker than straight up grinding for certain levels. For example, Witch's House gives 6,325 XP in hit points. This could level you from level 10 to level 21 HP. Instead, with us having 25 HP, if we were to complete the quest, we would get level 30 HP. Remember, us taking the time to level all of these stats comes into effect as well. It would just be faster to do Witch's House and obtain the 21 HP that way instead of raw grinding and then completing the quest later, like we're doing so. We head on over to Edgeville and go down to the Edgeville dungeon. While running through, there's a small alcove right before the hill giants, and here you will find a brass key. Grab it as it allows you to use the little hut next to the Cook's Guild right outside the Grand Exchange. It's a faster way to the hill giants. While training on hill giants, I recommend picking up the big bones for extra money or holding on to them for prayer XP and a gilded altar. Or, if you plan on staying free to play, then burying them. Linport roots are okay for money as well. Training here is a very popular spot as it's decent XP. You could get a giant's key to fight the boss Obar. However, his loot drops are very, very bad. This is the same with Bryophyta. The drops aren't really worth it. If you would like to get the hang of bossing, then sure, go for them. At 35 range, I did switch to Moss Giants and Varrock Sewers for faster XP. With all this being said, in free to play, I'm pretty sure the last grind here is to go for 99s. You could get 99s in crafting, fishing, smithing, mining, fire making, wood cutting, and your combat skills. However, I would highly recommend doing this as a member. The experience rates are significantly faster and even more AFK. After getting 40 range, I have some closing thoughts. If you are having issues due to low HP, I would recommend leveling magic and ranged up via hill giants to 20 or above. This ensures you're not getting one shot by every NPC or that you don't have to run around with an inventory of food. Magic is a very, very good skill to level, and although I personally stopped at 26 in this video, I would continue to 37 just to be able to teleport to Falador. Although membership would be best gotten sooner, this is now the time to get membership. You will benefit greatly from quest XP rewards and unlocks, as well as getting full use from the prayer skill. You will benefit from potions like stamina potions, prayer potions, and super combat potions. If you're staying free to play for just a bit longer, get some stats up for early quests like Lost City and Fremenic Trials. I'd also like to take this time to also say if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It's a free way of letting me know these videos are helpful or interesting. If I can get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll throw membership on this account and do a video for new members. I appreciate you all for watching.